Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Victor Obasuyi, and my co-host today is
Azuka Obasuyi. It's nice to meet each and every one of you again.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about keeping up with the Joneses. Surprisingly, a lot of us, instead of setting goals to make sure that whatever we are today is better than yesterday, we tend to set goals that will we live our lives in rivalry with others or competition with others. It defeats the purpose of you as an individual. I believe that in terms of whatever your destiny is different from mine.
Yeah.
All fingers are not equal.
Yeah.
Whatever you were created to be is different from mine. Your purpose in life is different from mine.
Yeah.
You might do very well in academics. I might do very well in sports.
Yeah.
So I believe the best thing is to make sure that whatever I'm good at, I should improve on that rather than compete with you.
Yeah, human beings are naturally competitive by nature.
Mm-hmm.
We improve, right, by looking and checking to see what others are doing. They say human beings are more like monkey see, monkey do. But the question is when are we learning from someone that is our friend or our someone in school? They say what is it? Imitation is the best form of flattery, but in imitating others, in looking up to others, where does it stop? Where it now turns into this unhealthy competition, where it's almost like, okay, my friend partner A, or my friend named B is doing something, and there is now this unhealthy competition that if she can or if he can, then I can as well. And before you know it, you end up in this never-ending circle where you get into this unhealthy competition that is not good. You find that you're not growing. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think most times you probably end up creating an anxiety attack for yourself.
Yeah.
I believe it turns into anxiety when whatever you are doing, instead of you being relaxed and being yourself, you're constantly comparing yourself to the next person. So if you don't now meet up with that person's goal or be able to pass that person, you find that constantly you're nervous.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to be better than what it was yesterday, you find that you're much more relaxed with what you're doing, and your brain tends to think a lot better, and it's easier to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I know, like in keeping up with the Joneses, like we said, right? It's almost like each day you wake up, what are your plans? What is it that you plan to do? What are your goals? Like you rightly pointed out, we are all created differently and uniquely. We all each have unique talent. What might come natural to you, I may try, right, to improve on it. But since it comes natural to you, you're going to be a natural. You're going to do it almost effortlessly. Regardless of how much I push myself, I may, admire you, copy what you're doing just to improve myself. But you shouldn't now get into where this unhealthy competition, where the thing now is like, okay, I want to beat you at what you're doing, right? So the question is, when should it be a form of flattery, which is, okay, you are inspired by someone, or you are in competition by someone? They're two separate things. I get inspired every day. I read, I try to see people that are doing well, and I'm like inspired, like, okay, wow, if this person can do this, right, it will motivate me to go out there and something I wouldn't be willing to try before, because I've seen someone do it. It's a huge motivation. I'm inspired to do it. That is different from, okay, if this person can do it, then I think I can be better at it. And then you get into this unhealthy competition and start putting unnecessary stress on yourself as well.
That's why I said it can lead to anxiety attack, because if you by the time you develop that constant competition with other people around you, even when you pass A, you start competing with B. by the time you pass B, you start competing with C.
Yeah.
C has a big house, you need a big house. C has 2 cars, you need 3 cars. You don't know what A, B, and C are doing to get what they have. So if you are constantly in competition with others, you find you will never ever be happy.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
You will never be happy. Because as soon as you get what A has, you suddenly find yourself now B has more than A.
Yeah.
You're in competition with B again.
Yeah.
The circle continues.
It's more like a vicious circle, right?
Yeah.
The question now is, what can, like, when is it that, what can you do to, like, when you find yourself falling into this trap of trying
the
to
same way
figure
you
out-
went and pull yourself out of it.
But some people might not even know that they're falling into that trap, right? You might think like, okay, I am being motivated, like I'm trying to, I'm motivated by what this person is doing. I'm inspired. But before you know it, for me, I will advise, when you start feeling the pull or the pressure, or when you're no longer enjoying what you're doing, there always has to be that conscious, reflection where you ask yourself, am I really enjoying what I'm doing? And also, why am I doing it? Am I doing it just so I can please others? Am I doing it to meet the expectations of others? Or are you trying to meet your own?
It's okay to say
personal
the worst thing you can
expectation, yeah.
worst thing you can do to yourself.
Yeah.
They said there's a prison. The worst prison that you can do is to put yourself in that position where you're constantly trying to please others.
Please others, yeah.
If you don't learn to please yourself or do what works for you, you're constantly going to find yourself trying to do what to give you approval from others.
Yeah.
Approval from others might come today, probably will not come the next
tomorrow.
day.
So what do you
But if
do?
the approval comes from inside you,
Yeah.
you'll find that you're easily contented.
I think that's the key word.
Living your
Yeah.
life
Contentment, yeah.
to get the approval of others is a prison that you will never be able to get out of.
It's true. Yeah.
It's a prison you will never be able to get out of it.
I know. So instead of pushing maybe ourselves, pushing our kids, because it also happens, not just with parents, right? It also happens with kids where you're pushing them. Okay, if this person can do this, what are you doing? Why can't you do it? I also advise, right? It's also good to know the child's ability. If you know what they can do, you can tell when they are going, like, I still think that it's our job to get them to go out there and excel. But at the same time,
most people, right, that I find are in this kind of rigmarole,
yeah,
extend it not just to themselves alone.
yeah,
It begins to affect the family.
they affect the family.
Because you come home, your spouse, you're constantly comparing your spouse to others.
True, yeah.
You compare your kids to others. You compare your family to others. What comes to the others may not be for you.
It's true, yeah.
The other person might get A and turn it into 20 A's, and it works for that
And
person.
it works for them. Yeah.
You might get the same, you might get 5 of those A's, and you cannot even convert it to get the 6th A out of it.
Yeah.
So for me, I believe we should know what works for us, know our limits. Right? We should know our limits.
Yeah.
There is no reason why you should kill yourself in trying to please the people around you.
Like I said, it's the difference between passion and being motivated, and it's the difference between being like passionate about what you're doing, because then it comes natural. It comes effortlessly, right? It's the difference between that and trying to live a life of, okay, I'm doing this. Like, I think it's when you have to answer that question: why am I doing this? Am I doing it to please others? Am I doing it to just so I can have like a bigger house than Mrs. B or Mrs. C, right? Like, why? And if you're not deriving pleasure, like you rightly said, what works for me or what I'm willing to do might not necessarily work for you, right?
Yep.
You might find like someone is happy having like that big house, but you might get that same big house and you ask yourself, is this all there is to it? You stay inside the house, you feel empty within yourself. You don't have that contentment. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's what we're going to call it a day today. The lesson from this is be yourself. When you start keeping up with the Joneses, you're never going to be yourself, and you probably may never even achieve your full potentials.
Yeah, I always say one of my quotes in life is be you, do you, do what works for you, do what works for your family. It is good to be inspired. It is good to be motivated, but then you should know when you are like I think is a fine line between that inspiration, motivation, and passion, and doing something just so you can you compete and beat the next person at a perceived game.
Yeah. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The channel again is my take on it. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Continue to share our videos. If you have comments, throw them in the comment section. We appreciate you guys. Other than that,
Hit the subscribe button.
we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you.